Hey, TikTok, what's happening? Thought I'd share one with y'all this evening. I've been thinking about my dad the last few days, how I miss him. He's been gone a long time. How I love him, miss him. I think about my dad and my mom both quite a bit. They're both gone. But this evening, sitting over here in Maryland off of 68 on my way to Baltimore, I got about 140 miles to go, hardly, not that far, hardly. I'll be over there tomorrow and I'm going to help a buddy of mine put a toolbox. He's bought him an aluminum toolbox and we're going to hang it on the frame of his truck. No big deal. We can handle it, I'll guarantee it. Well, I'm going to share this with you. My dad had several occupations. He worked for a local telephone contractor and then the co-op up our Foothills Telephone. He was a carpenter. He done all kinds of carpentry work. He's a good carpenter. He could build anything. Very knowledgeable about a vehicle. He could mechanic around. He's pretty fair. And he worked on chainsaws, small engines a little bit. He could sawmill work. He knowed how to use an old manual sawmill. He could a stick mill, they call them in Kentucky. He could use one. He knowed about them. And there for a spell, he worked for coal companies and operated dozers and loaders and this and that, and different equipment. But a long time he drove a senior citizen bus there at the last. But once upon a time, when I was about 3 to 5, he drove for an outfit that was at W.R. Castle off US 23 on the old two-lane road. Exactly where the fire department's at, W.R. Castle. There was a company called PMI, Petroleum Marketers Incorporated, and he drove a truck for them. My daddy hated the truck. He could drive a truck as good as any hand that ever drove one. He just didn't like trucking, period. Never would go over the road. Well, they had straight trucks, a couple tandems, and a single axle. That's what he drove most of the time. They had a green R model, Mack. And I'd go with him, and he'd drive that. And one day we go over there, and you want to go with me in the morning? I'm like, oh, yeah. He said, well, you get up in the morning. Don't be lazing around. He said, you get up and you can go with me. So we go over there, and that green R model sitting there bobtail. Most of the time it was hooked up, but this morning it was bobtail. He circles around, squares up with that trailer, and goes backing up under that trailer. And I turn around, look out that back glass in that day cab Mack, and I stand up in the seat. I said, what holds that to that trailer, Dad? What holds that trailer to this truck? He said, that pin hanging down, and I'm looking right there at it. And I said, that ain't enough. He said, oh, I reckon it is. It's worked for years. Still works to this day. Yeah. Sure didn't look enough for a 4-year-old boy looking at it. I was like, that ain't enough. And I know them hoses and that electric cord didn't hold nothing. But, you know, it's funny how a child looks at things.